not miserable like this.
Oh,
Yeah, Jenny has started leaving her blanket back there. It's awful. And like, oh, in Mike's area, have you been in there? I know. I just emailed him. I was like, you can spend as much time in here as you need to. Like, bring your study hall kids in here if you want. It's, yeah, it's not doing anything because it's warm outside. I know. It's bad. Hey, folks. Everyone.
Miss McCullen.
Uh-huh.
I went to Myrtle Beach this weekend, and you were totally right. There's nothing good in Myrtle Beach.
No, there's not.
The place we were staying at sucked.
It's not a great spot. Although my ex used to be like obsessed with Myrtle Beach for some reason. I really don't understand why. But he was like, I'm gonna write a book of like hidden gems and stuff, which he never did, surprisingly. Because apparently there is cool stuff, but like it's none of the tourist stuff. So like nobody knows what's cool. I don't know of anything cool. It's like I don't know, really poor man's Charleston. It's like Charleston had a baby with Gatlinburg, Tennessee, and that's what.
Like the place we were staying at sucked so much.
Was it gross?
There was a rat.
Ugh.
We didn't see it, but like it took a like my mom, she brought some bagels, but like it took a big chunk out of the bagel.
Ugh. That's horrible.
And we had to move, like this happened Saturday morning.
Mhm.
So I was sleeping and I just heard my mom and my younger sister screaming about a rat, and we were just trying so hard to pack up as soon as we could.
Yeah.
And then they moved us to this other place on Ocean Creek Resort. I don't ever want to go there again. I would like to go to Myrtle Beach, but not an Ocean Creek Resort.
Yeah, that sounds rough. Sounds like not a great place.
But other than that, yeah, I got a teddy bear while I was in Myrtle Beach. Because I don't think they have a.
Oh, cutesy.
I don't think they have a. Do they have a Build-A-Bear workshop here?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
I don't think they have one.
His name's Ghost.
Nice. I did a Build-A-Bear only one time, and it was when I worked at Starbucks, and we did like a staff outing to go to Build-A-Bear, and like we all built ones that looked like us in some way. So like, I mean, at the time I had glasses, or I wore my glasses. I still have glasses, but I just wear contacts. And so like mine had little glasses and little Chuck Taylors and stuff. That's cute.
It also has a Mandalorian theme song in it.
Fun. It's such a weird process though. For those of you who've never built a bear, it's so weird. They're like, you have to like hold its heart and make a wish or something. Like, I don't remember, but it's kind of goofy.
It is very awkward. And I've only been to Build-A-Bear once, and I was like 8 years old, and it was whenever you're 8 and you're saying it's awkward, that's when you know something's wrong.
Yes, exactly. Because it's obviously weird for a group of adults to do that. Like, it's weird that we did that anyway, but then we're all standing there like wishing on their hearts and stuff. But like, maybe kids would like that, but I feel like if kids are like, no, this is awkward and uncomfortable, then maybe it's just their system. They need to rethink it. Okay, so I thought that Mike was going to come in here today and do like try to get you guys set up on the app. And when he does that, it should not take long. It won't take like the whole class or anything, but he does need to see someone's computer to do it. And obviously none of you are here in person today. So we're going to try to do that tomorrow. Hopefully at least one of y'all will be here. If you're not, then we'll put it off again. Probably till Thursday or Friday. Got to be till Thursday or Friday because we can't do it Wednesday. What else was I had a thing? I'll think of it. It's like it feels like it's on the tip of my tongue, so I feel confident that I'll think of it. Shoot, what is it? What is it? That's gonna drive me nuts. I'll get y'all started on this at any rate, and then maybe I'll be able to think of it. Okay, I'm gonna share my screen with you for just a minute here. You have some multiple choice practice today, and this one is multiple choice test practice test 41. And I have it a couple of ways here. The way I set it up, it should do like it has before, where you each have your own copy, but I know that that has been complicated a bit in the past, so I also linked it right here. But if you do it that way, you'll have to make your own copy because this is the original. So the other thing before we read this thing together is that there's one question, number 5, that you do not have to do, which means you only have 9 questions, because this formula, like this type of question, which no one ever liked, by the way, they don't do this anymore. So I'm not gonna make you do a sample question that there's not any type of thing that goes along with it. You don't need to know how to do that. So, I mean, like, it's worth looking at the info, but you don't have to do number 5. Golly, what is the one thing I was going to mention to you guys? I can't remember. That's going to drive me absolutely nuts. Okay, so this, I feel like this is a fairly straightforward one. We have looked at a lot of different speeches and like eulogies and stuff. This is not exactly a eulogy. But this is the speech that Robert F. Kennedy did when Martin Luther King was killed. So it's fairly straightforward because you're familiar with this type of speech. But let's go ahead and look at the questions, and then we'll read the thing together. You've got the primary purpose of the speech. You're looking for a paragraph that does not contain examples of parallel structure. And parallel structure can look a lot of different ways. It can be like a list. It can be like to have and to hold. It can be like a repeated type of clause. So I'd look through all these and see if you can find any type of parallel structure. Paragraph 5 contains an example of which device, and looky there, logical fallacy is one of the options. And now you kind of know what that is, which is great. I think you know what all the rest of these mean, except for possibly analogous example, which just means analogy. The tone of the speech, we're skipping number 5. Which paragraph does not give support to the inference that Kennedy expected violence to follow the assassination? I feel like that would be the question. For me, that would be the question where I'd have to like go back and look at each one really specifically and individually. I just remembered what I was going to tell you, and I'm going to read the rest of these questions and then tell you. Kennedy most probably chose to refer to the Greeks in paragraph 11 for which reasons? Which reason? It's just going to be one. Paragraph 7 and 8 are constructed around which rhetorical strategies, and we should know what all these things are. The quotation given in paragraph 6, so you have to go back and look at that, can best be restated how? I feel like that's probably a fairly easy question. And then what are some of the effects of the repetition in paragraphs 11 and 12? That's weird. Just choose one. There might be more than one right answer, but just choose one. The thing I was going to tell you before we actually read this speech together is that those of you who've been consistently turning in your multiple choice practice, if you're getting like 5 out of 10 right, I don't want you to feel discouraged about that. If you're getting about half right, then you're doing fine. If you're getting more than half right, you're doing great. But I know that when you get like 5 out of 10, that can probably feel really discouraging because you're kind of equating it to a 50% in your head. And obviously it's 50% of the multiple choice, but the multiple choice section is weighted at 45% and the essays are weighted at 55%. So the essays, considering you have 3 of them, they're actually like significantly more important than the multiple choice part. It's not to say it's not important at all. It's still 45% of your grade, but if you're getting about half right and then you do a really good job on the essays, you'll be fine. So just kind of keep that in mind and don't beat yourself up too much. I remember last year in particular, like the first practice we did, I told a kid that he got 7 out of 12 and I was like, nice job. And he was like, that's not a nice job. That's terrible. But it's really not. So if you're getting about half right, then you should feel fine about that. Okay, so let's read this together and then I'm going to kind of let you guys finish them on your own. Hi. So on the death of Martin Luther King Jr. by Robert F. Kennedy, otherwise known as Bobby Kennedy. I have bad news for you, for all of our fellow citizens and people who love peace all over the world, and that is that Martin Luther King was shot and killed tonight. Martin Luther King dedicated his life to love and to justice for his fellow human beings, and he died because of that effort. In this difficult day, in this difficult time for the United States, that's some parallel structure, by the way, maybe help you out a little bit. It is perhaps well to ask what kind of a nation we are and what direction we want to move in. For those of you who are Black, considering the evidence there evidently is that there were white people who were responsible, you can be filled with bitterness, with hatred, and a desire for revenge. We can move in that direction as a country in great polarization, Black people amongst Black, white people amongst white, filled with hatred toward one another. Or we can make an effort, as Martin Luther King did, to understand and to comprehend, and to replace that violence, that stain of bloodshed that has spread across our land, with an effort to understand with compassion and love. For those of you who are Black and are tempted to be filled with hatred and distrust at the injustice of such an act against all white people, I can only say that I feel in my own heart the same kind of feeling. I had a member of my family killed, and he was killed by a white man. But we have to make an effort in the United States. We have to make an effort to understand, to go beyond these rather difficult times. My favorite poet was Aeschylus. He wrote, "In our sleep, pain which cannot forget falls drop by drop upon the heart, until in our own despair, against our will, comes wisdom through the awful grace of God." I like that quote too. What we need in the United States is not division. What we need in the United States is not hatred. What we need in the United States is not violence or lawlessness, but love and wisdom and compassion toward one another and a feeling of justice towards those who still suffer within our country, whether they be white or Black. Here's another hint. Sometimes parallel structure just looks a lot like repetition. So I shall ask you tonight to return home, to say a prayer for the family of Martin Luther King, that's true, but more importantly, to say a prayer for our own country, which all of us love, a prayer for understanding and that compassion of which I spoke. We can do well in this country. We will have difficult times. We've had difficult times in the past. We will have difficult times in the future. It's not the end of violence. It is not the end of lawlessness. It is not the end of disorder. But the vast majority of white people and the vast majority of Black people in this country want to live together, want to improve the quality of our life, and want justice for all human beings who abide in our land. Let us dedicate ourselves to what the Greeks wrote so many years ago, to tame the savageness of man and to make gentle the life of this world. Let us dedicate ourselves to that and say a prayer for our country and for our people. The end. What a lovely, lovely speech. And lots of parallel structure, actually. Okay, so you guys just have to do 9 questions because you are not doing number 5 unless you are just feeling froggy and want to leap. So I can stop sharing. Those of you, well, I was going to say those of you who are virtual, it's all of you. Hang on until you get that submitted. And once you get it submitted, you can leave. And I will be here in case you guys have any questions. I'm gonna go ahead and shut my stuff off and y'all holler at me if you need me.
I haven't finished, but there's no submit button on the assignment.
What? Okay, that's very weird. Let me edit this.
I was just about to say that as well. There's no submit button for this.
It's like submission type, external tool. I don't know why it's telling you it's not a submission thing. Are you, I don't know how it normally looks to you when we do this, but did you click on the make a copy if you use it that way part?
Yes.
Okay. Is there a different way to access it?
I let me check, but I don't think so.
Because like, so normally what I do with this is just as a submission, I make the submission your own version of it, but it doesn't always work, which was why I did the make a copy if you use it that way.
Okay, I figured it out.
Okay. And if it doesn't work for anybody else and there's not a submit button, you can just share it with me. All right, that's the bell. So don't get those turned in as soon as you can, and I will see you tomorrow.